Welcome to another video. Today I'm riding to an epic location in Leicestershire called Ashby Folville. The place transforms twice a month into a biker village, literally, and it's one of the best bike nights I ever came across, at least in the Midlands area. The village is located in Leicestershire in the countryside near Melton Mowbray. In days like this, you don't need much of an excuse to get on the bike. Blue sky, sun on your back, and the road stretching out like it was just made for you. And the destination, an epic bike night. Now, bike nights are new to me, but there's always that buzz of riding there. The ride becomes part of the ritual. Quick glance in the mirrors, twist of the throttle, off you go, leaving the world behind in a cloud of exhaust and the soundtrack of horsepower. I sometimes wonder, why don't we see as many young faces out there anymore? I stopped earlier in a petrol station and there was a large group of people riding their bikes and we had a short chat. To be honest, the average age in that group was probably over 50 years old. Back when I was growing up, it was normal. At 16, you either got a 50cc moped that rattled itself to pieces every weekend, or you knew someone who did. That was the gateway drug into motorcycling. Now, most 16-year-olds get their kicks on TikTok. You ask them about a two-stroke and they'll think you're talking about a rowing machine. Of course, it's not entirely their fault. Getting into biking isn't cheap. You've got licenses, CBT, theory, Mod 1, Mod 2. It's like applying for an MI5 clearance. Then insurance is the biggest factor. It usually costs more than the bike itself, and that's before you've bought the lid, gloves, jackets, boots, general bike stuff that you need. By the time you paid for all that stuff, you're wondering if public transport isn't so bad after all. But here's the thing, no amount of Netflix or scrolling or bus rides can replace this. The way the world opens up, the way every corner feels like a little story, the way the engine hums underneath you like it's alive. It's not just transport, it's freedom in its purest form. And yet, the sad truth is, a lot of the young people never taste it, because they don't get a chance. Their parents tell them it's dangerous, their mates think cars are cooler, and the whole biking culture risks becoming something you read about instead of live. But not nights like tonight, Ashby Folville, they keep this flame alive. And still, when you talk to a 16-year-old that rides a bike, you do see the spark. They get it. The grin when they take the corner just right, the pride in looking after their machine, the way every journey becomes a story, that's what keeps it alive. And here it is, Ashby Folville. On normal Tuesday, this is just a sleepy English village with a church, a pub, and some very confused sheep. But on the bike night, it turns into a mecca for motorcyclists. The moment you roll in, you're hit with the sights and sounds. Hundreds of bikes lined up in every direction. Old British classics, the smell of oil and history, Japanese superbikes with fairings polished to a mirror shine, adventure bikes that still have mud clinging to them from the weekend, even scooters, yes, they're allowed too, as long as they park quietly at the back. It's not just the bikes though, it's the people. You've got old-timers who've been coming here since before I was born, swapping stories about runs to the Isle of Man or rides that ended with push starts more often than petrol stops. Then you've got the new riders, still buzzing from passing their test last week, proudly showing off their 125 as if it's a Ducati Panigale. And you know what? Everyone here respects that, because no matter what you ride, you're part of the same tribe. And the other thing, everyone's been there. Everyone's had that first bike, and we all know how cool it is to get your first bike. The best bit, the conversations. you can walk 2 steps, and over here 3 completely different debates. Is carburetor better than fuel injection? Which tire pressure is the holy grail? Do Harleys actually count as motorcycles, or are they just lifestyle accessories? Of course, there's always that bloke polishing chrome like he's in love with it, while his mates are already halfway through a pint. But what makes this night special isn't the banter or even the bikes, it's the tradition. This pub has been closed for a few years before it was bought by the new owner, and they started doing the bike nights again. These gatherings go back decades. They're living proof that biking isn't just about machines, it's about community, about passing the passion down. Look around and you'll see dads holding their kids up so they can sit on the tank, wide-eyed teenagers staring at superbikes as if they've just met a superhero. You can almost see the spark flicker to life. That's the moment the torch is passed to the next generation. And when the sun finally dips behind the rooftops and the engines begin to cool, there's this magic atmosphere, the clatter of sides stand going up, the rumble of engines starting, the whole village vibrating as riders head off into the night. You leave with your ears ringing, your clothes smell of petrol and barbecue smoke, and your heart is full. That's Ashby Folville, a Tuesday night that feels like a festival. Proof that even in a world of screens and distractions, motorcycles still have a heart that beats. And as long as places like this exist, the heart's not going anywhere. Not just the riding, it's the people you meet, the stories you swap, the places you go, and nights like this prove it's still alive and well. So when you finally throw your leg over the saddle and head off into the cool night air, the road glowing under your headlight, you realize something. You came here for the bikes, but you leave with something better, a reminder, a connection, and a sense of belonging. That's Ashby Folville, and if you're a rider, you owe yourself a night like this. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.